I'm Sergeant Austin. I'm from the 5th District. I represent PSA 504. For those of you who don't know, 504 is the area that we're in now. We're 1322 Irving Street is the now. The 12th Street corridor from 9th all the way to 20th streets of Rhode Island Avenue and everything in between. So that does encompass the Brookline community. This community here, part of the Woodridge community. Okay. I just want to let you know that we had within the last week and a half, we had about 3 robberies in and around the Brookline Metro Station. One of them happened to be at 9th and Hamlin, and I can't think off the top of my head, but one of them was at, I want to say 9th and Rhode Island, right around the corner from that location, and I can't remember where the last location is. However, 2 of them happen to be robbery snatches, meaning someone walks up to you or runs past you and snatches whatever you have directly in your possession. And most of the time, there are cell phones. So that, again, every time we come to the meeting, we reiterate, walking from the metro or to the metro or walking home, and you have your cell phone or your any type of media device in your hand and your earphones on, and not paying attention to your surroundings, not being able to hear when someone is running up on the back of you, or paying attention to people that are coming in your close proximity to you, and just being caught off guard by someone snatching what's in your hand and running off. One of the robberies was with a man was approached by 2 young men, one of them displaying a gun and demanding property, and both of the suspects making good their escape with that. So, and just be mindful walking to and from the metro, walking home any time of the day, for people that are just looking suspicious. You can always cross the street. You can always change your route, change your direction in where you're going. Or you can also, like, there are a lot of businesses along the 12th Street corridor. If you're walking in the business quarter, and dip inside the business, and reroute your directions. Also, burglaries have still been occurring. I read these reports on a daily basis, and most of the reports are that a basement window or a top floor window was left open and unlocked. I would just encourage you guys, anytime you're leaving to go to work, even if you're running to the store and going to be gone not that long, lock the windows, close the windows. People will use anything such as trash cans to push up on the side of the house so they can get up to a top level. They will use any opportunity to, people are bold. They will walk up on your front porch. They will come up in your backyard. They will open up your windows and come in your house and take your belongings. So just be mindful whenever you're leaving home, no matter how long you're going to be gone. Make sure all your windows are closed and locked. Okay? Those are just 2 of the things that have been just prevalent in increasing in 504, which is disturbing. The robberies and the burglaries, they are on our top priority. However, they have identified, I know two people that have confessed to a bunch of the theft from autos that have been occurring in 503 and in different areas of the 5th District. Theft from autos was a big problem. These 2 individuals confessed to about 200 of the theft from autos that have been occurring in the area. So warrants have
they already
Oh, they did, they picked them up, okay,
Yeah,
so,
it's the brother and sisters, Williams brother and sister, they live in the 3,000 block of South Dakota. And they have confessed to over 200 thefts in my PSA 503. I'm Sergeant Johnson, PSA 503, and it's Sergeant Austin's PSA. And they also have given up information about 10 robberies in the Brooklyn area.
so those two individuals are off the street as of right now. We're still diligently working, trying to solve the burglary problem and curb the burglary situation that has, been plaguing, our areas. Like always, if you see anything, it doesn't feel right, doesn't look right, call 911. It does not hurt to call and to give a lookout. If you can get a tag number, if you get a description of someone that may be lurking, walking up on the porch, knocking on people's doors, doing things like that just to see if people are home. You may come to the door and they may ask you for, or say they're there for some off-the-wall bogus, thing. If it doesn't feel right to you, it doesn't sit right, call 911, please. A lot of the burglars that we do catch are caught because a neighbor has saw something and called 911 or didn't look right, or, get to know your neighbors who are in your block. You know what I'm saying? If you look out for one another, if you know your neighbors next door, or know you're going out of town and you want somebody to look out for you or look out for your home, I mean, just get to know your neighbors, get to know what's going on in your area. You can always contact the U.S. Postal Mail to have your mail held until you get back from out of town, so all of your mail won't stack up, and that's an indication that you're not there. You can also have your papers, your Washington Post or whatever, suspended until you get back. These are just things to help you so that, burglars or people won't know that you're physically not there. And it's always good to get to know your neighbors and have these neighbors look out for you in your area. So, this is Lieutenant Burnett. He's the Lieutenant Supervisor over PSA 504. You have anything you want to?
No.
Okay.
Sorry I'm late. I spent 55 minutes on 14th Street Bridge.
But PSA 502, anything else? Lieutenant Johnson?
Yeah, besides the two suspects that we got for most of our thefts, I have this flyer. You only have two. I'll just leave it up here. Okay. This guy, he's been robbing 7-Elevens in our area and in PG County. So they're actively working this case here because he's been spotted in several other 7-Eleven robberies. So you all can take a look at this. I have these posted around PSA 503. And also we had a robbery at Sammy's liquor store at South Dakota in Blanesburg, and basically it was like 9-something at night, and they had the front door propped open and the back door propped open because their air conditioner was broke, and they're in there at 9-something at night counting money. So they two guys fully masked walked right in and robbed them. And then another, the dollar store, they have been robbing them on a regular basis, but they have security now as of like last week. Yeah. So basically that's all I have to report, because that's our biggest problem, theft from autos. And hopefully we won't see too much of that going on anymore, since we have these two guys, this guy that's now on the street.
The brother and sister team that you guys apprehended, was that through, I don't know if you can tell me this or not, was that through a tip, or was that just through your research?
Investigation.
Investigation?
Yeah.
Oh, were they from this area?
3,000 blocks of South Dakota.
That's where they were from?
Yeah.
See, a lot of times people may get arrested for something else, and during them getting arrested for something else, the detectives will do what is called a debriefing, and they will ask them questions about any other crimes, or do you have any information for any other, crimes in the area? And apparently these brothers and sisters just confess to a lot of things. So, that's how they get a lot of their information. But of course, we can always use information from the citizens, tips, any information that we can get that is beneficial to helping to close a lot of these cases come from you guys. So we do need your help. Anything else?
Go on and think.
I wanted to raise an issue. Hi, I'm Peter Semler. I'm a resident on 18th and Randolph, and I'm a
This for the
long-term.
police?
Yeah, this is for all of us, the police and the
No,
residents.
this is just for police right now.
Oh, yeah, this is police.
Okay.
The issue is Monroe Marcus. I lost a tenant because she was mugged on Otis. She was an editor of a Russian newspaper. And look back for our neighborhood. And what we've seen at Monroe Market Development is an increase in petty crime at the subway station. And you guys have been putting a lot of resources at the station. What I am saying to all of us is MPD has a program where private developers or private companies can't pay the MPD to police that area. I think we should demand that Monroe Market start paying for this police presence at Brooklyn, so your officers can do better policing around the neighborhood rather than try to have free cars. And that's what you do in DC.
What you're talking about is a reimbursable fee.
Yeah. And I think we should demand that because when I talked to them, they denied that they had anything to do with it. This is nothing. You have a lot of newcomers. You have a lot of more opportunity crimes. This iPhone, you got this going on. And if we don't start putting our voices out, it's going to get worse. Monroe Market is development with Catholic University, but the biggest shareholder is the Pritzker family of Chicago. One of them is now Secretary of Commerce, and we have to put it down because it's only going to get worse. I've seen it. I mean, I'm a long-term, I'm a fifth generation Washingtonian, Northeasterner. If we don't start doing this, and I don't see
Sir,
why.
excuse me.
Yeah.
I appreciate what you're saying.
No, but I think this is important, and I think that.
But I'm saying you asking us to do something, and the police is here.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get clear from you. You said you're at 18th and Randolph.
Yeah.
18th and Randolph is not near the Brooklyn Market.
Yeah, but the Brooklyn Market is, there are a lot of police resources are going to the
I'm
Brooklyn
just trying to get
Market
clear
that
what
could
you're
be put out in the rest of the district. And there's a reimbursable cost, so Monroe Market can pay for police presence out of their own pocket, so we have better policing, and we have new resources at Brooklyn Station that will protect the station at the same time we'll get better policing for the whole district.
Are you at Brooklyn Market?
I'm a Ward 5 resident in
No,
the.
no, I'm just asking a question because you're saying that you're asking us to ask Brooklyn Market to spend some money to do something, and I'm only saying to you
Yeah.
that if you're not representing Brooklyn Market.
No, I'm representing a resident and a
Okay.
taxpayer and a
Okay.
business owner who's hiring 10, 20, I own a media company.
Okay.
And I talked to Vincent Orange yesterday. He said, yeah, we should do it on the ANC level and bring it up to our council member, Colin Duffy. And I don't see why us taxpayers should be
The
paying.
only thing I'll say with that and everything is Brooklyn Market would have to approach the police department.
Yeah.
They have two routes. One's a reimbursable detail,
Yeah.
which they would pay an overtime rate to the officer
Yeah.
through the police, to the police department. The police department will supply an officer.
Yeah.
The other way they can do it is they can hire officers for outside employment, which I believe it would be eligible for that, in which they would negotiate with the officer a price, an hourly rate
Yeah.
for the officer to be there.
Yeah.
They have to show bond, they have to show proof of $1 million liability insurance and everything else for that. And that's just a process they'd have to go through, and the officers would get approved to work there, and it would only be a certain officers that can work there. So that's what they would have to do, and that would be something that Brooklyn Market would have to approach the police department.
Yeah, but I think we should ask, as residents and as our members of our ANC, this is something we need to do. I don't see why our taxpayers should be going to Monroe Market to do policing for them when it's their problem. And we don't start putting them to the fire, this is gonna get a lot worse, I promise
That's
you.
only the beginning. I'm just
Yeah.
curious, do you have a sense of who the contact is for Brookland
Yeah,
Market?
I
Because
do.
you do know that that's Bozzuto, and technically Brookland Market is in 5C.
It's not
Yeah,
in
but
5B.
we're getting the problems in 5B.
No, believe me, I understand, but what we may want
David
to
Rowley's
do,
the general manager, and I know the guys in Chicago, because
Right.
they do a lot with
Right.
Chicago.
what may be helpful, tell me where you live.
I live on 18th and Randolph,
18th and Randolph.
on that corner by Divinity School. And this is
By the-
causing problems to the Franciscans.
Believe
how-
me,
Yeah.
I'm clear. Believe me, I'm clear. I would just say though, in terms of starting the communication,
Yeah.
because that actual entity is located in 5C,
Yeah.
we can't go and step on 5C's toes, because that is an entity which is located within their boundaries. So they need to be aware what's going on specifically within their boundary, and they can address it. Now, if it just so happens that a 5B resident was the one that brought it up, who cares?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
We're talking about safety.
And we need to take the council member and put them there. I know the Pritzkers are the shareholders, we can go to the
Yeah.
CEO, the
Right.
Pritzker family.
Right.
We can't let them bulldoze us, because they don't care.
Right.
Thank you very much.
But I would encourage the council member to be brought into it.
That's what I thought we should do, yeah.
Well,
No,
you contact
no,
that council.
we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that.
I'm just
Let me
saying-
We're
say-
not talking, but I already mentioned it at large, orange,
Listen
so
to
we
me,
should
let me
be
just say, there's a
mentioning.
process, and that is 5C. That is not 5B. And so therefore, what we will do, I will let the chair of 5C know that you've come here today, but there's nothing that I'm going to do with 5C in
Yeah.
the sense of being able to talk about the Brooklyn
But it's
market.
a 5B problem because it's coming on the other side of the track, so these guys
That's
are
like-
getting mud coming out of the
Yeah, that's what
subway,
people say
their
from
resources
Virginia
are being
about DC.
wasted doing this,
But
yeah.
that's not, okay, I hear you loud and clear, thank you. Finance, is there anything else you need to bring before us today?
No, any other questions?
Any other
Do you have
questions?
any statistics on the number of robberies that take place at the Brooklyn Metro stop? I mean, have they increased significantly over the past year or so, or has it been pretty consistent? Prior to-
PSA 504, which has Brooklyn Metro stop, okay? There's a lot of development going on. Back in January, robberies fall under the violent crime part of our crime reporting system. PSA 504 is probably experiencing about a 5% increase back in January of violent crime. We put in, the officers, Sergeant, myself, we put a plan in place which we have a dedicated officer around Brooklyn Metro. And up until about a week ago, we were going 3 weeks without any violent crime in a row, without any violent crime in the area. And we were actually hit the 0 point, and we were starting to bounce into the negative territory, so we brought it under control. But then we had 3 robberies right in the area on midnight. So I was working at midnight, boom, boom, boom. One was in the SEI, the Summer Crime Initiative area. One was at, was in, what was it?
One was Ninth and Hamlin.
Yeah, 9th and Hamlin, and we had another one on Monroe Street around 13th and 1400 block in Monroe. And then last week, no violent crime at all in PSA 504. So we're at about 2%. So we went from 0 with 4 robberies, jumped it back up to 2% above, so we're working on that. Our property crime for the year to date is about -8 compared to last year. Although we started to talk about, we have a little spike here in property crime, burglaries, theft from autos and stuff, which we're working on. We're moving resources around to try to address that. I just asked those who have homeowners, get other homeowners, if you have overgrown bushes and hedges and trees that are blocking the views of your house and your windows and stuff, where people can hide and where the officers can't really see from the street, that you bring those things, trim them up, so it's easily visible from the street from the officers, so that they see somebody hanging out suspicious in the backyards and stuff, they can stop and address and find out what's going on. And if they should happen to stop you and you're a homeowner, please don't jump on them. I'm asking them to go out there and stop people that are looking around that don't look like they're doing, they don't look like they live there, and question them, So if they stop you, tell them you live there, they might ask you a couple questions, then they'll be on their way and everything. But I'm asking the officers to be a little bit more aggressive, so we can get this property crime stuff back under control again, and we don't end the year with a positive, we stay in the negative compared to where we were last year. So, but the officers are out there patrolling. We have that resources out there. The Summer Crime Initiative beats are taking some of the resources there. But 504 as a PSA whole is manning that Summer Crime Initiative area around on 10th and in Douglas and Franklin and Rhode Island Avenue there. And we're still covering our areas here in 504 too, providing the service.
I think that they put cameras up at the China Metro stop, Chinatown.
Put cameras up where?
At the Chinatown Metro. And I've noticed on the news, if you watch the news, they'll show camera shots of where they know that these kids are getting on and off the train.
Well, all the metros have cameras in.
So are ours just not being utilized? Like, I feel like why, if it's stemming from the metro station?
Well, what was happening before is people were getting off the metro, and I'll sit there, the officers sit there, and people get off, they got the electronic device to listen, they're oblivious to what's going on around them. And what we were having is, and we found was that our suspects were targeting our victim as soon as they came out of Metro, then they were following. So when we got together with Metro, Sergeant Austin's got a real good relationship with Metro Transit Police. They got an initiative going around the Metro station here. But when we started putting officers and we started challenging people around there that are hanging out and stuff, what it did was it forced it outward. So now people weren't getting targeted coming out of the Metro. Now it became random. Then somebody has to walk up on somebody or have to walk by somebody, and it became further out. So that strategy alone, by targeting around the Metro and preventing people from actually targeting people coming out and following them, actually reduced our robberies and our victims, these crimes dramatically. I'd say probably about 80%. So that strategy's worked, and we're to keep on doing that strategy. Now we do have some crime cameras. Now some of the higher areas, in Trinidad and stuff, we've got NPD cameras. We do have an NPD camera on 12th Street coming off of the Metro there. So when we have a crime in here, we pull those footage from those NPD cameras. We also pull footage, from the traffic cameras and stuff in case, we have a robbery around 14th and Monroe, let's say, and we get a lookout of a vehicle. We'll go to the traffic cameras and the footage to see if we have a vehicle matching that description roughly about that time we went through there. Then we get a tag number, and from there we can start building our case to identify the suspect.
I'm sorry, could you just elaborate really quick, because I live around there? Like what?
Okay.
At 14th and Monroe?
An individual coming home from the Metro, he was walking down the street, a vehicle pulled up, and what they do, he thought it was unusual for a person slowing down. He's doing this. The person jumped up, produced a gun, he dropped his bag, took off running, and they grabbed the bag and then they ran in. That case is still open.
So it was a car, a vehicle?
It was a vehicle. Somebody rolled up in the area and stuff like that. But there's different tactics we can do, to identify people and stuff. And, we got cameras throughout the cities, and stuff. And if they go through those cameras, we're gonna pick up the vehicles and stuff like that. So.
Thank you. Let me just, before we do anything else, please remind everyone, please sign in. Please, we have 3 sheets back there for everyone to sign in. And I also want to acknowledge Secretary Commissioner Briggs and Supervisor.
Apologies for my tardiness, everybody.
Lieutenant
Bernard, I just wanted to kind of ask something, though. I attended Councilmember McDuffie's crime initiative, so all of the law enforcement entities were there. And one of the things that Commander Solberg said was 504 had the lowest level of crime in entire Ward 5. Is that true?
That's true.
Thought I put it out there.
504.
So,
panic stricken.
With that low crime comes a little bit of burden, because you get a couple theft from autos or a couple stolen autos,
and actually it'll raise our crime up, 100, 200%, And when I get back from vacation next week, I got to go down and see Chief Bruin, because I had 4 theft from autos, more than I had same month last year, and it's an 8% increase in property crime. I got to go, what are you doing about it? You look at that percentage and everything. So
you have a question?
we're doing pretty good.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a camera on 12th and Newton Street, that corner where CBS and the grocery
12th
store?
and what?
And Newton?
There's no camera at 12th and Newton.
There's a lot of
The camera is a little further down towards Otis Street, but it captures stuff that comes up. And you all know we have a shot spotter system in the city, okay? Okay, shot spotter was a program started by the FBI. If somebody discharges a firearm in the city in certain areas, okay, it's not citywide yet, and hopefully they'll work it citywide. What it does is that there's sensors out throughout the city, and it triangulates, and actually, it's pretty good. I mean, it can actually triangulate sounds of gunshot within an area about the size of this room. And we can go to that area and we find shell casings on the ground. It can differentiate between firecrackers, fireworks, different caliber handguns and stuff. And with our crime cameras, what they've just done, they've now synced the crime cameras with the shot spotter. So those areas where we have shot spotters and a crime camera, when the sound goes off, those cameras automatically swing to that direction and everything to capture any type of video and stuff. Up in this area here, I do not believe we have shot spotter up in here. Okay. Well, we have crime cameras, and if they're all synced, so shot spotter picks up like in Edgewood, the cameras are gonna point to that direction.
Lieutenant Burnett, what about, I'm just sorry, go right ahead, no, you go right ahead.
The summer crime initiative, can you, one, describe it briefly? Two, are you able to, how did the Brooklyn area get chosen as one of them, and when does it end?
Summer crime initiative ends at the end of August. It started, I think it was at the end of June. Yeah, it started in June. What they do is downtown crime analysis, okay? They look at all the crime in the city from the past year and years before. And then what they do is, based upon trends in the past and projections in the future, they pick certain areas in the city. 5D has 2 summer crime initiative areas, 70 has 1, and 60 has 1. Okay? The one that incorporates this area here is Edgewood, and it comes over into Brooklyn. So you've got Rhode Island Avenue over to 4th Street, 600 block of Edgewood, comes up Franklin to 10th, shoots down to Rhode Island Avenue. That's the summer crime initiative. Now, with those summer crime initiative, they have to be manned 24/7, 7 days a week. The officers cannot leave. If the officer gets pulled out of it, we have to replace it with another officer, okay? The goal is to reduce that crime way down, okay, more than anything else. Now, in the Edgewood area there, we're experiencing Captain Morgan Kane, she's my captain, she has 504. That area right now, since June, has a 75% reduction in crime. Okay, until last week, a little over a week ago, when we had a robbery down there, we had no robberies in the area, no violent crime in there. That was the first violent crime we had in the area. Okay, so that's how they're picked and how it's decided. That comes from the chief's office. The chief mandates it. They pick a captain to head it, and the resources are put in there to do it. 504 mans that summer crime initiative on the 504 area from Reed Street over, and then the 502 officers man it on the other side. And we're able to man it with our resources and still provide the resources here in 504. So we're not actually pulling from other PSAs, you know, to staff that summer crime initiative and everything. That's the goal. It goes to the end of August, and then once it's done, all the lieutenants and the captains have a weekly crime conference call 2:30 every Tuesday. We talk about the last 7 days and what our plans are. And even though we have these summer crime initiatives when they're going away in at the end of August, we're still going to designate certain areas in 5D and move it around and change around based upon crime trends and prediction of crime trends, where they're going to staff officers in there 24/7 and not allowed to move out of there. So unless an official gives them the authority to move out.
I want to just shift gears and ask about 2 things. I asked about the less sensational one first.
Okay.